pull up a chair, because episodes 11 to 20 of Pursuit of Jade delivered one of the most emotionally dense stretches of CDrama I've watched in a long time. We are now deep into a story that has stopped asking whether its characters can survive. Instead, it's asking what survival has cost them. Fan Changyu is no longer just the resilient butcher fighting to protect her family. She's becoming a woman forced to question everything she thought she knew about her past. One of the most compelling storylines in this block is the mystery surrounding her parents' death. You see, she believed they were killed by bandits searching for treasure, a treasure map. But by episode 20, we discovered that narrative itself was a fabrication. The so-called aunt was a story constructed by Lord Lee to conceal the truth. Her parents didn't die because of treasure. They died because of politics. And I think that was, really apparent at the start, wasn't it? And because they died due to politics, it gave it became a very different tragedy, if you ask me. The moment Lord Lee visits Fan Changyu in prison is quietly devastating. She asks to see the case file surrounding her parents' death. He retrieves it, notices it has already been altered, yet he never admits what he discovered. Instead, he quietly pays for a release, leaving her to continue believing the official version of events. And it gets me thinking, that sometimes silence tells us far more than dialogue ever could. Meanwhile, Changyu continues to operate in that fascinating space between duty and devotion. His decision to pretend to be Yo Chun-chen's husband in order to investigate Xie Ming's grain manipulation is classic Xie Zheng. Everything he does appears calculated. Everything has purpose. And then episode 17 arrives. The argument at the river. The separation. The conscription. His triumphant return as the Marquis of Wuhan. For me, one line captured that entire emotional journey. And this is when after Fan Changyu left him at the river, he said this statement: "You saved me here. Now you abandon me here. I guess that's closure." And that was spoken by Changyu himself. It's one of those rare lines that carries the weight of everything the two characters have been through together. It didn't need dramatic music. The writing trusted that moment. Special mention has to go to Gong Sun-yin, who continues to be the most accidentally well-informed man in Lian. He somehow gathers intelligence from Shunjun, from Mr. and Mrs. Zhao, strangers, officials, even random conversations with him, hiding behind, not hiding, but behind a door and just listening in. And he gathers the right intelligence, and simply by just being exactly in the right place at the right time. I find his personality is, quite fascinating. In every serious political drama needs someone like him. He's an absolute gift. The political threads continue tightening very beautifully, if you ask me. Xie Ming evolves from a dangerous schemer into a genuinely frightening antagonist. You can see his manipulation of Yo Chun-chen. He was trying to manipulate her through threats against our son, Bower. And this shows us that those kind of manipulation, violence, if you wish, his tactic wasn't physical at all. Sometimes psychological manipulation is far more devastating. Meanwhile, Sui Yun-chin emerges as another major player. The uprising, the massacre, the arrival at Chinping stronghold all signal that the conflict is expanding beyond personal rivalries into something much larger. And then another point I really enjoyed between this block of episode is the Lantern Festival. And one of my favorite sequences in the entire drama, this is one of it for me. You could see Fan Changyu quietly removing Sun Yun's names from ladies' lanterns. And moments later, Changyu ties a love ribbon around her wrist. It's a scene that barely needs dialogue. Yet, the emotion it carried was done almost entirely through gesture. No dialogue, just the gesture itself. It's visual storytelling at its finest. The best scenes don't always need words. Sometimes they barely need subtitles even. Just by watching, you just understand the whole scene and you take it in. Episode 18 reminded us that this drama is no longer pulling its punches. The Halley massacre, the Lian massacre, where Fan Changyu left barely alive in the bushes, the introduction of new dangers, the growing sense that nobody is truly safe anymore. At that point, the writers make one thing very clear. Nobody is protected simply because they are important. Actions have consequences. And survival is never guaranteed. I saw that clearly. What impressed me most about episodes 11 to 20 wasn't the romance or the politics or even the action. It was the fact that every major event changes someone. It's like nobody walks away unchanged. There's always something about people when they're walking away from a scene, there's something different about them. And you can see that all through, the episode 11 to 20. You see Fan Changyu start to begins questioning our entire past. That's a change, in her. And also Changyu carries increasingly impossible responsibilities. That's a change, from whom I saw in episode 1. And then we have Yo Chin Chin discovering just how cruel power can be. Power from Chin Mei. Even the villains reveal new layers of ambition. By episode 20, Pursuit of Jade no longer feels like a story about two people finding each other. It feels like a story about two people trying to remain themselves while the world around them keeps demanding they become someone else. And to me, that's a far more interesting story. And the rating for this 10 episode for us is 4.5. The room has spoken. Now, before I end this episode, I have a question for you. Do you think Lord Li was protecting Fan Changyu by not letting her know the truth about the details surrounding her parents' death at that point? Or was he protecting the people behind Fan Changyu's parents' deaths? Let me know in the comments. The room wants to know.